Chapter 14. Hi, Lewis. It's Thursday evening and Rachel is calling Lewis from work. I'm standing in a telephone booth. I'm on my break at work.
I didn't know you worked.
Every Thursday, Lewis, from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. You can see me at the Martin's Big K market, putting groceries in bags and lobbying and loyally wearing my red Martin's Big K Market t-shirt.
If his name is Martin, why is it called the Big K?
Well, there are various theories. One is that it's for his daughter, whose name is Kathy. Another is that it just sounds better than Martin's Market.
Okay, now I see. Why is your Martin's Big K Market t-shirt red?
Sometimes it's yellow. In either case, on the front it says, Martin's Big K Market is okay. And then on the back it says, put your part-time to work at Martin's Big K.
Does that make sense?
I don't think that matters to my boss. When I first got the job, I had to wear a badge that said, I'm new and I thank you for caring.
For caring?
My boss likes that word. Leah, this woman who's worked here for 1,000 years, says whenever she goes in to ask for a raise, he tells her he cares. She says, thank you, need more money. And he says, I wish I could help you. I care. And then he tells her what a hard time he's having at home. She says she always ends up comforting him and then forgetting about all the money she wants.
So the phone booth is your hangout spot on your break?
Don't mock me. This booth is about twice as big as the employees' lounge and 3 times as clean.
Tell me how long your break is, Rachel. I was just going out to the store for my mom.
Can you spare 10 minutes?
For you, at least 8.
If you come over here to shop, Lewis, I'll be your bag girl.
Is that a threat?
Pardon me?
Well, I don't know, Rachel. You might want to put a bag over my head. Rachel, you might want to put a bag over my head.
You have a bizarre mind.
That's true,
Lewis admits with a modest snicker. Lewis, I give you my word. I will never bag your head.
So things are progressing, at least with Lewis. In the Cooper household, there's sadness, a heaviness in the air. Rachel's mother is at the supper table, and she stares blankly down at her plate. Or she sighs deeply and repeatedly, as if she can't get enough air. Then Rachel knows that her mother is thinking about Grandpa Izzy, which Rachel is not doing. She finds her own mind sliding away from thoughts of him, slipping and sliding away from sickness, thoughts of death, and thoughts to Lewis. Lewis thoughts. One of her favorite Lewis thoughts is imagining what kissing him would be like. Will be like. Because if all this is leading anywhere, surely it's leading up to the coveted kiss. On Saturday, they go to a movie together. It's almost a date, but not quite. They each pay for their own tickets. Rachel buys the popcorn, Lewis buys the sodas. They sit shoulder to shoulder, and they hold hands. Of course, they're both looking straight at the screen, completely absorbed. It's a foreign film, and they agreed, before they went, that they heard so much about it, they would have to see it. So then, they are paying attention. They can't help it if their hands are uninterested in the movie's important message. They can't help it if their hands are doing this and that, if their fingers are nuzzled, linking and unlinking. They themselves are raptly attentive to the screen. Rachel develops an itch on her nose. What a place for an itch. She wriggles her nose, but the itch remains. She frees her hand and scratches. Lewis's hand, now also free, having nothing to do, goes up to pull his ear from there. He is so casual, drops down to clasp Rachel's shoulders. Rachel moves closer to Louis. Their heads meet and touch, and that's how they watch the rest of the movie. Afterward, they stop for hamburgers and talk nonstop. It's amazing, considering that beginning of this friendship was almost totally silent, but they don't seem to run out of things to say to each other. They go to the move. They go from the movie to books to Helena and Mikey to their parents, teachers, schools, the future, then back to the movie. They stay there so long they have to order more food, which is no problem since Louis says he's always hungry. As they're finally getting ready to leave, Rachel is thinking about that first day in the library.
Louis, did you ever think we'd actually get to be friends?
A thoughtful look comes over Louis's face. Friendship, he murmurs, dropping his scarf around his neck, is like pain. Explaining it is impossible. Rachel sits down again.
Louis, did you just make that up? How did you do that? Even if I wanted to, I can never think of things like that.
Louis's face brightens with what Rachel imagines to be a humble blush. Ah, Rachel, he says, even if I want to, I cannot tell a lie. I didn't think of that just now. I was waiting for a chance to drop it. I came out tonight with it all prepared. He puts his head down on his arms. Merely on a poor sinner. Oh, sorry. Mercy on a poor sinner. It's worse than that. I didn't think it up. He peers up at her. I
borrowed it?
Rachel fills in helpfully. You're too kind. I stole it.
Louis, I always write down things I read or hear.
Yes, but you don't memorize them to pass off as your own, so you can impress other people, do you?
No.
You must think I'm a goof.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, I think I'm a goof.
You confessed, Rachel says. It's not such a big crime.
She wants to say something else compassionately and wisely, but she doesn't get the chance because Louis leans across the table over the ketchup and mustard and rubs his nose against hers. And that, as any fool knows, is an Eskimo kiss.